Welcome to the second podcast of the 2015 Bushina Bowl season. I'd like to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'm here with Eric. Eric, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You know, we got the draft over with, and we finally have some real substantial things to talk about. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of things have happened since the last podcast. Things are heating up in the Bushina Bowl. First week coming up here in a little bit. We've got some app football to get us started this week, and you excited for that?
Definitely. Possibly even more excited than the start of the regular season for the Bushina Bowl. But it's been a long time coming. You know, we've got this season opener at home for the first time since 2001, I believe, so it should be a great time.
We'll need a fact check from Charles Haynes on that. But yeah, like you said, we had our draft at Tap Room. It was a great success. We'd like to go ahead and thank everyone at Tap Room, the fine folks over there, for hosting us. It was a good time and quite an interesting draft that we'll cover here in a minute. But what were your thoughts about the draft? Did you think it went well, Eric?
I think it went well. We got off to a slow start, not unlike App's football campaign last year. But once all the pieces kind of came together, Cody, Trevor, Matt, offense, defense, just naming a few things there, it turned out to be a great event.
Yeah, I think everybody had a good time. It was a little early, so it was an interesting time to draft, but we're all at the same advantage or disadvantage, however you want to look at that. So I think we're ready to go ahead and jump into a recap of the draft. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at each team and maybe one or two picks that they made this season in the draft that we're going to highlight. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and start with Lil C. Lil C was picking from the first position in the first round, and she selected Marshawn. Yeah, what do you think?
It was a bit of a surprise, but then again, this season the number one pick or the top picks were kind of scattered all over the place when you look at rankings from different sources that we all tend to look at. But you can never go wrong with Skittles himself.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out for her. We're kind of going to jump around a little bit, not go in order of the draft. One of our favorite guys from O-Town Throwdown. He, after the draft was looking pretty good. He was actually awarded the best draft from Yahoo. And then not too long later, we heard of an ACL tear from Jordy Nelson. So it's going to shake things up a little bit for O-Town Throwdown, wouldn't you think?
Definitely. And, it really throws off that whole Packers team, too. I mean, whoever selected Aaron, can't remember exactly, but it's one of the dangers of drafting as early as we did.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a little more real, but, got to live with these things. He's got a long time to make his team right, so I really wouldn't be too worried about it. Go ahead and jump into Money Edwards. Took a fourth-round pick in KB, also going down with the ACL tear. It kind of hits a little closer to home for some of us Panthers fans.
It does, and, sometimes it seems like we really can't catch a break, but that was just one of those freak accidents. It was a non-contact injury. And, it sucks for Money Edwards, sucks a little bit more for the Panthers fans, but if he's a good fantasy owner, he should be able to recover.
Yeah, plenty of time here, so he's got the time to make it right. So Legion of Lou continues his strategy of just hating running backs. He took his RB1 in the fourth round in Latavius Murray. So Matt he doesn't like running backs. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, it kind of goes against all conventional wisdom for, or at least up until recent seasons for fantasy football. But I felt a little bit relief for the man when he finally selected Latavion Murrison at his first running back.
Yeah, Murrison is, we'll have to see what he does for old Lou. Wrath of Erath. A lot of people felt like he had some picks sliding to him, and I think he, made the most out of his draft. AP slides to him in the first round with the sixth pick, and then wraps around and gets Demaryius Thomas in the seventh pick of the second round. So, I mean, it's a pretty solid start.
I think those two were huge for him. I personally had Demaryius last season, and when Peyton wanted to throw to him, he threw the damn ball to him. It was a point powerhouse. And that with AP, if he comes back and has a strong season, might be the steal of the draft.
Yeah, the man's got a good looking team so far, so we'll see how that plays out. Foster's home for atheists. Yeah, you might have gotten some value in your last pick in Funchess. Kind of a homer pick, but it might turn out to be okay.
It could. This honestly was a pick to troll Boss Man Chowder down there just a little bit. But with the unfortunate and untimely injury to Kelvin, he could wind up being a great value.
Yeah, I think so. Breast available. Doing a little dirty bird over there. He's got Julio in the second round, and then in the sixth round picked up Matt Ryan. So looks like he's doing a little dirty bird stack over there.
A little dirty bird stack indeed. I can't talk too much having a black and blue stack, but we'll see what happens from Julio this season.
Yeah, I've got him in another league, so we'll see. Mariota card, one of the more interesting players in our league. Rolling the dice a little bit. Maybe not his opinion, but Tannehill in the 7th. Not a quarterback that you would say it's a very sexy pick, but could still get the job done.
He could. I mean, I don't even know if I would have even used a pick on him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just throwing that out there. He did get that big contract, so obviously they do have a lot of confidence in him. So I'm actually kind of excited to see how that turns out there for old Mariota Cart.
Yeah, Mariota Cart rolling out the Tannehill. Excalibur trying to avoid punishment yet again this year. Yahoo gave him a draft grade of a B, so it seems like he might be on his way to not doing the punishment this year.
Yep. I don't even know. Don't even know what to say about the that whole punishment thing. But I'd like to comment on one of his kind of standout picks, but doesn't even have a roster set. So yeah. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here.
Last in the league did not have a roster, so if he's listening, maybe he'll go ahead and.
It's a big if.
Yeah, it's a big if. We've got Balls Chalder. He might have to find a little replacement tight end. Not exactly sure what's going on with Julius. I'm sorry. I know he did go down not too long ago, so might be even a replacement.
Yeah, just another one in a string of untimely injuries. Again, when we draft this early in the season, things are bound to happen. But as you said, it kind of makes it a little bit more realistic because the teams are actually having to deal with this.
Yeah, so anything can happen preseason as well. So we've got Hype Train with maybe a little unexpected 10th round value. Got Devontae Adams there, and that could be another guy just stepping into a larger role and getting a little more value out of that 10th round pick.
Yeah, I really have no comment there, but hopefully it works out for him.
And last but certainly not least, the Broshines. We waited until the end of the fourth round to get a first running back in TJ Yeldon. Not exactly sure how I feel about that. Also had a little scare today with Travis Kelce going down. Looks like he'll be okay, but man, just dodging bullets in the preseason, it seems like.
Definitely. And for you guys losing the tight ends, I do have 2 on my roster. So this is a shameless plug for the Foster's Home for Atheists.
You heard it here. So, after we drafted, like I said, O-Town Throwdown had the best draft, and he was ranked number 1 according to Yahoo. On the other side, Lil C was projected a last place finish. But again, anything can happen, and plenty has happened since that draft. So these projections are all kind of different now. So we'll get to that a little later in the podcast. Right now, we'll pause for a commercial break, and we'll be back right after that.
Ross has got the trucks, man. Ross has got the trucks. Right now you're in luck, man. Ross has got the
It's
trucks.
Ram Truck Month going on right now at Ross Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram right here in beautiful Boone, North Carolina. Hi, folks. I'm Richard Miller, General Manager, and we have savings of up to $7,500 on all Ram Diesel 25 and 3500s in stock. Come see us today or shop us online at rossauto.com.
Trucks and Jeeps and vans, man. Do the best that you can, man. 2-wheel, 4-wheel, everyone's a good deal. Ross has got the trucks.
All right, and welcome back to the podcast. One of my favorite times of the show is coming up here. Earl from Hodges Gap is on the show again, my friend and yours. How you doing, Earl?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. You know, and I just gotta say, I ain't got me a new truck since about 1972. But if I was, I'd definitely get down there to them boys you just had on, because they definitely got some good-looking Dodges out there. Cummins all the way.
Hey, Ross has got the trucks, is what I hear. So, everything in the Gap good for you?
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good. We're struggling. You know, we got a bit of a drought going on. It ain't rained here in 3 days, so you know, up in the hot country, that's kind of a stretch.
Yeah, I seen you still active on the social media, getting mentioned by some of the prominent accounts in the community. You like the social media?
It's I'm still getting used to it. You know, it's something. It's one of them. What they call y'all millenniums. It's one of y'all's things, but it's good. It's good. You know, I gotta get the Nesbitt name out there.
Oh, the Nesbitt name is getting out there. Don't you worry about that. Earl, if it's all right with you, I'd like to kind of start a weekly tradition. We're gonna do a weekly pick'em for the Bushina Bowl that I know you've been following. We're gonna try to track your picks throughout the season, see how you do. So, are you down for that?
You gonna pay me for it?
We'll get to that a little bit later, Earl. Maybe we can work out some kind of payment.
Nah.
But I think we'll go ahead and get into it. We've got the first matchup of the week, one I'm quite interested in. The Bushines and Mariota Kart. They're facing off. We've got the 2014 champ going up against a measly 4th place out of last year. What do you think's going to happen in that matchup?
Well, you know, I'm looking here at the lineups, and it's projected to be pretty even. You got your Tanny Hills going against your Redskins, and your Jeffries going against your Packers. I think I'm gonna go with the Mariota Carts.
Wow, Earl, that kind of cuts deep. I don't know how I feel about that.
Sorry, man, I'm just calling them like I sees them.
Well, I think the Bushines are gonna make you see something on week 1, so it's kind of my input on that. But Mariota Kart's got the pick from Earl in week 1. We're going to the next matchup of the week, O-Town Throwdown and Hype Train.
Yeah, this one right here is kind of interesting because you got them injuries y'all talking about up earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. You got your Jordy Ninrods and whatnot's going down. And that affects both teams because you got Aaron Rodgers on the Hype Train and O-Town who had the Jordy. I'm gonna go with O-Town Throwdown. Go with my fellow country boy there.
Oh, O-Town Throwdown. He's actually projected less this week, I think, unless some things have changed. O-Town Throwdown getting the pick from Earl. You heard it here. Let's move on to the next one. Money Edwards, Boss Chalder.
Boss Chalder is not my pick. Not just yet, at least. I look at this, and you got your Andrew Lux, which might be the next best thing since Peyton Man thing, but he's going up against that Buffalo defense. So I don't really like that. Looking over here on Boss Charter, I think he might have some more favorable matchups, so I'm gonna go with him.
Oh, wow! Going with the Boss Charter over Money Edwards. All right, so that's half the picks this week. We'll move on to Lil C and the Legion of Lou, which I think is a very interesting matchup in itself.
It really is, and this one right here's got a 10-point spread on the projections, which is it's huge.
What do you know about a spread, Earl?
I know I had to spread butter on my biscuit. That's about it. Now, I think I'm gonna have to go against the spread and pick the Lil C here. I like that Victor Cruz. He does them dances in the end zones. And Darius McFadden is one of my all-time favorite running backs.
Wow. Well, okay. Going with the dog there. I don't absolutely hate it. Lou, man, you have to get your shit together, bro. Let's see who we have left. Oh, here we go. Breast Available and Foster's Home for Atheists. A little ex-roommate rivalry here, if you will.
Yeah, these from what I hear from y'all, these two lived together for about 3 years, which is it's pretty long time. I think they might have had 1 or 2 washed up crazy rednecks in between then, or roommates, I should say.
I know nothing about that.
Nothing. God save the Penguins. But this one right here, I kind of look at it as two kind of mediocre teams. You know, you got each one with a name or two. You know, that Foster's, and this name I do not condone, by the way. He's got that Le'Veon Bell out for 2-3 weeks for smoking the devil's lettuce. And the other guy, well, you know, that's just kind of all right. He's got that Dez Bryant, Julio Jones tandem. That might work out for him, but I think I'm going to go with the Foster's home there.
Foster's home getting the pick from Earl this week. We've got the last matchup of the week. And the man who got punished last year, sorry about that, folks. The man that got punished last year, Excalibur, going against the Wrath of Erath. Who do you think comes up on top there?
Well, simply because Excalibur, and y'all might have said this before, the man ain't got a team. He ain't got a defense. He ain't got a kicker. He ain't got a quarterback. He ain't got squat.
He's projected for the goose egg.
Projected for the goose egg. And I know a lot about goose eggs. I'm gonna go with that Erath fella.
I think that's a solid pick for right now. I mean, something against nothing. So that's all the picks this week. You feeling pretty good about those?
I am. I hope you wrote them down so we can go back and check them out.
Oh, I'm documenting this.
Oh, you're All right. We live?
We are live, something like that, semi-live. So that'll wrap up the picks of this week. We'd like to go ahead and thank you for joining us. I know you got some work to get done for the night in, so we'll let you get on out of here, but definitely appreciate it, and we'll be hearing from you again next week, Earl.
Yeah, man, sounds good. I think I can make it happen.
Alrighty. Well, that's Earl from Hodges Gap. Always a good time to have on the show. One of the great friends of the Bushina Bowl. So we definitely thank him for joining us tonight. Next, we're going to go ahead and look at how things have changed since the draft, according to Yahoo, which, you know, what do they really know? But we'll look at their projections, and we'll likely have a special weekly segment starting for you in week 1, which you don't want to miss. Eric, is that going to be something fun in store or what?
This is honestly one of the things I've most been excited about. We're bringing back an asset that we have had on hand for several years now. It's something that will be familiar to a lot of y'all, new to some, but I think it's going to be a great addition to the podcast, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to unveil what we have in store for that. But again, let's go ahead and look at these projections from Yahoo. These are as of today, so don't want to brag, but I am projected number 1 right now, followed by the Wrath of Erath at number 2, Breast Available number 3, Mariota Cart number 4, Lil C number 5, Boss Chalder number 6, Excalibur number 7, Foster's Home for Atheists number 8, O-Town Throwdown at number 9, Hype Train number 10, Money Edwards 11, and rounding out number 12, the Legion of Lou. So, as you can tell, a lot of different things have been happening. A lot of shuffling in the projections, according to Yahoo. Anything that jumps out at you?
I think the biggest thing here, and it's something we touched on earlier in the podcast, but it's the loss of Jordy Nelson for O-Town Throwdown. I mean, this man was projected way in the top of the bracket. Oh, number 1, actually. And, he slid all the way down to number 9, just behind myself. So we'll see what happens there. Again, these are projections that they're definitely fun. You kind of lose, or they don't factor in that upside that, your Odell Beckhams and Chris Andersons kind of had towards the end of the season.
Yeah, if teams can hit their strides, these projections really don't mean anything. But it's a fun way to, look at the strength of a team right now. Legion of Lou, though, got some work to do. Right now is projected at a 2-11 finish. I did not stutter. 2-11 finish. Lou has got some work to do. So, Lou, I'd be signing on to Yahoo and, trying to make that team a little better unless you want to get punished. So, another big mover, though, in the opposite way, was Lil C going from last in projections to number 5. So, I don't know what she's done or what's happened to do that, but she is now looking a little better in the eyes of Yahoo.
Definitely. And, that could be due to player performances in these first 3 preseason games that we've had, or just, some good roster management on her part. But again, it's all up in the air. This is really just kind of fodder for us to toss around the BS missiles, as it were, before the season starts. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, anything can happen in the Bushina Bowl. You saw it last year. A couple waiver wire pickups can really change the face of a team and send them on their way to a Bushina Bowl championship. And what an exciting year it will be. We're entering our 3rd season in just under 2 weeks. So, the quest for the Bushina Bowl is heating up. And I think we have, a hell of a season on tap.
We do. We still have the punishment to figure out. We do have some time to do that. There have been a couple of good ideas that have been tossed around, so I think we have some front runners there.
Yeah, I think we got some ideas. We need some input for the rest of the league. If you're able to get on Facebook, please give me your input there. If not, we really need to get this thing figured out. So, hoping to get this figured out by week 1 before the season really gets underway. But I think that's going to wrap up the podcast. Again, I'd like to thank our friends at Taproom, the gracious people over there hosting us again this year for the draft. The best draft in Boone, I might add.
Definitely. I'd say we set the standard for fantasy football drafts, so much so that we've actually been contacted to kind of facilitate the Taproom draft, which a number of us participate in anyways.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are a little bit envious of what we've got going on. So, I think it was a great time up at Taproom. Again, we'd like to invite everybody to come out to Big C's tailgate this year. It is the official tailgate of the 2015 Bushina Bowl.
It's one of the most prestigious tailgates, probably in the history of Appalachian State football. They've got tailgate of the year a number of times, tailgate of the game, countless more. That great spot down there on Rayleigh next to that rundown short bus.
The folks over at Big C's tailgate do it right. So if you're a Bushina bowler and you're not at Big C's tailgate, I don't know what the hell you're doing. So, good things in store for this year. Football is here, folks. We're going to be keeping you updated every week along the quest for the 2015 Bushina Bowl season. So keep tuning in. Thank you and good night.